Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Sorry about the week break into getting the news out. The reason is because I was away for the weekend, so I couldn't get it done for Monday. And then Tuesday was April Fool's Day, and I was just like, I'm not going to even attempt to try and distinguish what's real news, what's not real news. And I just was like, do you know what, leave it for a week, get back into it the next week when everything's kind of cleared from April Fool's Day and I can kind of see what's actually going on. Not too much news today. I've got three news stories, all still quite big ones, so we're going to get into the first of them right now. Okay guys, so after sifting through everything from April 1st and around that sort of area that can't really trust too much, there wasn't actually that much to go through news wise. We've got three news stories, all from the same source, which is Canon Rumours. The first one here is there a pair of new f1.2L lenses on the near horizon? So of recent years, Canon's sort of stuck to an 8 to 10 lens release every year, so that's quite a few lenses when you've got quite a big range already and you're kind of putting through another 8 to 10. Obviously some of them are now going to be Gen 2 versions of the RF lenses, but still a fair amount of glass you're putting out there. So we've now been told a pair of new f1.2 prime lenses are on the horizon. There's no information about the focal length or when these will be released. I would assume, like potentially what they're saying here, is going to be something like an RF 50mm Mark II with an 85mm Mark II. It's been about that sort of time period now where the initial RF lenses that came out, with the launch of the RF platform, which were these sort of 50mm, 85mm, those sort of more common sizes, are now in the zone where they could very much realistically have their Mark II variants coming through. So it wouldn't shock me in the slightest if we sort of saw these two new lenses being a 50mm, for example, and a 85mm. What would you like to see come out in a 1.2? Let us know down in the comments below. Okay, so the next story here is the R7 Mark II and what we would like, what we know so far from that. So what we've got so far here is it's likely to come either Q3 or Q4 in 2025. Now there's also rumours this might have changed even slightly into 2026 now with everything that's going on in America that we'll talk about in a second. But solid sources are saying that it's going to be an updated version of the R7 coming out this year later on. Now they're going to consider potentially a resolution bump to 40 megapixels. I don't think it needs that. I'd rather keep it at 32 and then have a better well-built body personally, and stuff like that, and it will shoot 8K. Again, it's not really needed on a camera like that. They just need to make this camera a true 7D Mark II replacement. They expect an increase in body size, but it will remain as light as everything else in the Canon lineup. Not necessarily a great thing. I prefer a bit of weight personally towards my bodies, because when you're using big prime lenses, it's nice to be able to balance out that big lens. And they're going to do a upgrade to the layout as well, because obviously it's the only camera in their whole range that has the little dial right on the top there. So it'd be better if they just put it in like an R6 Mark II body or something similar like that, and just put the APS-C sensor in there. No mechanical shutter, I agree with that one. You probably don't need that anymore. And a faster readout, 100%. It is one of the slowest readout cameras that Canon currently make, and it is very, very annoying, and you do have to run it in a mechanical shutter if you don't want to get any issues while using a high shutter rate. Now, if it was just an electric shutter, I don't think that's a problem at all, but Canon seems to be very much in the mindset that you need to add the mechanical shutter in there too, because otherwise they would have just made the R1 just a digital shutter. But it would be nice to sort of see them remove from that, because that would take quite a bit of the costing away of making the cameras, and that could then lead them to give you a bit more into those cameras when they don't have that mechanical shutter, or even bring the prices down and give you a better camera but for a lower price. Now, there's rumours about a global shutter going to be in a Canon camera soon. I don't think it's going to be the R7 Mark II. I reckon it's going to be the R6 Mark III. If anything's going to come out for a global shutter coming out rather soon. It would be interesting if it did come out with a global shutter, because that would be incredible. But I don't think that's going to happen at the price point they're going to want this camera to sit into. What I want to see on a personal note, that's pretty much all they've kind of go through here, is about the Type B slots and stuff like that as well. The only other thing I want on top of this is a battery grip. Please, Canon, put a battery grip option on this camera. Even if it's the same battery grip you use on the R5, the R6, make it compatible with the R7 Mark II. Put the R7 in a R6 body and just have it as an R6 with an APS-C sensor on it. And just put a grip on there. It's so much nicer for wildlife photography to have that battery grip. It balances out the camera nicely, makes it feel bigger and better made, even just having a battery grip on there. And it just makes it so much more useful when you're shooting wildlife photography to have the option to have a second battery in there and just not have to worry about your battery life when you're taking photos. So that is the biggest thing I want from this camera, is a battery grip option on it. And if they don't make that happen, I will be very upset. What would you like to see on the new R7 when it comes out later this year? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, the final story is unfortunately a bit of a downer review in America. I'm not in America, so this doesn't affect me, but it could affect me overall with other things that are going on, because when companies put prices up in one region, they tend to put it up in other regions as well. But obviously, Trump has put tariffs on Japan of 24%, which go live on the 9th of April. So what you are going to see, most likelihood, there's no guarantee, but most likelihood you're going to see a increase in how much cameras are to the US. That doesn't matter if it's Canon, if it's Nikon, no matter who. If they're made outside of the US, you're going to see all these cameras go up in price. And 24% is a massive amount of money. It would, I think, hugely affect sales, obviously, in that region for cameras. It's not to the point where Canon are going to go, let's build a factory in America and save money that way, unfortunately for people in America. But what you're going to say, what I fear you're going to see, is the pricing of cameras going up in America, and to compensate that so it doesn't look as bad, you'll see an increase around the world slowly of all these cameras. Now, already in the UK, because we're not part of Europe anymore, we already are a little bit screwed over with the pricing. So I could literally fly to Australia, pay for a holiday for 2 weeks, and buy an R1, and it'll be cheaper than me buying an R1 in the UK. So, for example, that's where we are in the UK at the moment. Obviously, this is even worse for America, because 25% is a huge percentage of an expensive camera, to add on there. So, imagine the lens as well. Something like the RF 1200mm, it's £22,500 in the UK. If they're at 25%, you're looking at a £30,000 lens, pretty much, just under, but pretty much a £30,000 lens, which is absolutely unreal. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next, say a few days now, because it's only a couple of days away from this actually going live. So we're going to see very quickly what's going to happen. You've got companies like Nintendo who are stopping pre-orders to America already because of the tariff situation, and it'd be interesting. Obviously, the stuff that's already in America for Canon are going to be at that same price, but that stock holding is only going to last a certain amount of time. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully something happens to put things back to normal, but I fear that we are going to see some rather large increases on anything outside the US and in that sort of thing, which will have a knock-on effect globally as well. Let me know your thoughts on that situation in the comments below. Okay, and there were the 3 news stories from this week. I say not crazy amounts of stuff going on. Everyone's getting a little bit excited about the R7 Mark II coming out. I really hope it's not as much a disappointment as the R7 Mark I was when it came out. I had that on pre-order the day it was announced, and when it arrived it was such a disappointment compared to what all the hype was and what I was told by everyone what it should be like. So I'm hoping the Mark II goes back to basics a little bit more and does become more of that 7D Mark II that we all thought the R7 was going to be. And obviously it's really sad news about the tariffs and everything like that, because that, as I said, I believe is going to affect everyone globally with the prices of everything, not just cameras, cars, food. Everything is going to be affected worldwide by these tariffs, because it's not just going to be America that's going to get affected. These countries are going to go, right, we need to make our money back elsewhere, and they're going to put everything up around the world. So we're all going to get affected by this. So hopefully something can come together where we're not affected at all, or the tariffs get removed, or we'll see where we are, and hopefully we're not looking at £10,000 camera bodies in the near future. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment down below your thoughts on all the news stories, as I've said, as I've been going through. Any news stories I've missed, let me know in the comments down below as well. I'm always interested to see what's happening in the world of Canon. And please like and subscribe to the channel. Any like you get on the video helps massively grow the channel, and the bigger the channel gets, the more I can do for you. So see you again in the next one. Have a good evening. Cheers.